Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And that life is treating you most deliciously wherever you are in the world. So what do we do? 3, 2, 1, my juice. Oh, it's upside down. Thank you, little lads. You're delicious and bright. Yes, they are, aren't they, my little lovelies? Now then, the time is, sorry. The time is around, flipping forgot what the flipping time is now, my delicious little babies. I think it's about 20 to 2 in the afternoon, my delicious little babies. And it is raining, so it's raining. It's rather miserable, it's wet out there. Yeah, okay. That's the weather forecast in my neck of the woods in our old England, my delicious little babies. And I hope that the weather is superb and beautiful wherever you are in the world, okay? Now then, that doesn't mean my delicious little baby's just got an itch, okay? Now then, so there's a couple of videos to take. No, actually, there's 3 actually, my delicious little babies, okay? And yeah. So the first one, so all on YouTube, my delicious little babies. Then we'll have a little discussion, okay, my delicious little babies. And thank you for any views, for any likes, and for the occasional comments. They are also very much appreciated and so very much welcomed. Okay. So the first one is called in the old space bar in the old YouTube, my delicious little babies. Capital T, the space, capital R, Irish, 2 words together, Irish, polythic. I'll just spell that for you, my delicious little babies. POLRTHRCK. So you should read in the old space bar, should anybody happen to have any form of an interest. Yeah, we need to stumble on this one. The space Irish polythic. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now, I have seen this dear woman, bless, a few times actually. She's popped up on my feed. So I'm going to mention this dear woman today, my delicious little baby. She happens to have 3.04 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies. I haven't looked at any other videos. If I do, and then I found out that it is her videos, her channel, because sometimes uploaders upload from other videos, do you see what I mean? And I only seen this one, my delicious little babies. If that's the case, I'll probably look at some more, because she seems to myself a very pleasant, dear Irish woman to listen to, my delicious little babies. And the video should read Irish president, yeah, sparks outrage, home ownership obsession is unrealistic, Dublin reacts. Okay, my delicious little babies. It's just over 3 minutes long, my delicious little babies, so I'll just repeat that again for you. Irish president sparks outrage, home ownership obsession is unrealistic, Dublin reacts. Yes, my delicious little babies, and that one's ticked off, bless her. Yes, so basically, that doesn't mean no. Basically, what this dear woman is saying now is that the President of Ireland, well, basically, what did she say? He has 4 homes, but it appears that his Irish population, he does not want them to own their home. Well, the thing is, my delicious little babies, we've been talking now, there we are, for quite a while about this. Now, the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab, he is a putrid piece of shit, never needed to stumble there till he stepped down or whatever happened, I don't know. I just don't take any notice. The point of the matter is that he said you will own nothing and be happy. And what they were talking about, my delicious babies, himself and the World Economic Forum, this meant everybody in the world, my delicious babies, minus the few countries who know nothing about this. Okay, my delicious babies. Yeah. So, well, as far as I'm concerned, there we are. This is absolutely damn well ranked, man. It's damn well disgraceful, actually. Okay. What was it all about? There's the different words, which is citizens and residents. Okay. Well, really, I've said this there we are long time, and others who do know this. You see, the fact of the matter is, none of us in the world are citizens, so therefore we should never be called a citizen, because citizen is only used, there we are, in a corporate way. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? So that is what they choose to call us, okay? That is not who we are, okay, my delicious little babies? Well worth a little listen now, okay? And what your dear Irish woman there is saying now is that, like, she's got a 3-bedroomed house. So if these putrid had their way, that's not her words, my delicious babies. It is my words, okay? If they were to get their way, well, then, she would have to downsize. And what she's saying is they'd probably want to put her in a tall block of flats in a 1-bedroom flat, my delicious babies. Now, what does this remind us of? Like the 15-minute cities in Old Oxford in England, my delicious babies, okay? Just like, which are lovely redacted, and our lovely World Alternative Media, there we are, and our lovely David Icke, with anybody not in that way, there we are, have been talking about, and our lovely UK column we're talking about, as well as others, my delicious little babies, okay? So the fact of the matter is, or a bit like the Dome, like in Born in the USA, where everybody can live, apparently free and happy. Apparently, my delicious babies can. Well, even in our old England, they're building, I mean, if we go back to decades and decades ago, yes, there were a lot of flats. But to tell you the truth, my delicious babies, okay, more and more flats started to come in, there we are, in later years, okay, my delicious babies. But if these all had their way, all in the world, my delicious babies, okay, everybody, and say ones who live in larger homes, if they've got larger families and everything, well, they would want them to be living somewhere totally different, my delicious little babies, okay? So really, what is this all about? Well, basically what this is all about is that, they want everybody, well, basically, there we are, to do as they're damn well told, to live, there we are, in a virtual poverty. So that means nobody to have any of their businesses. So say if you've got somebody who wants to be an entrepreneur. I mean, I'm talking separately now to the video, okay? But anyway, but it's along these lines, okay? So anybody who has an entrepreneur about themselves, where they could build their businesses or anything, no, they do not want that, okay? My delicious babies. And I'm going to have to say this again, they want everybody on the digital, fully digital. That means the ka-ching, 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 pounds, shilling, pence, dollars and change. They do not want anybody to eat meat, dairy, fish. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? They just want to fill, especially in old England, our beautiful countrysides with solar panels. Well, I repeat this again, we cannot eat solar panels, my delicious little babies, okay? So they're wanting, there we are, to reduce the food, okay? I'll repeat this again. The fact of the matter is, there is plenty, there we are, in the world for everybody. It is only certain, there we are, when they do droughts, when they do different things now then, or floods or whatever else they do, just to F everybody else up, there we are, mad little babies, okay? The fact of the matter is we could all live most happily and not have any of these problems, mad little babies, okay? But it appears that certain just want to, there we are, continuously bring problems. But that, what is his president in Ireland, in old Ireland, mad little babies, he's taking the effing pee, man, isn't it? So why doesn't he give up his 4 houses then? What makes himself more special than his population, mad little babies? Because if you ask me, he's not damn special at all. He's a piece of effing shit and should be booted straight out. That is what I've got to say, mad little babies. See, what is this going to take? This is the question that I'm asking. I'm not shouting at you, mad little babies. What is it going to take? You see, we've got so many things now happening, there we are, at a rather rapid rate, mad little babies, okay? And you are hearing other channels, where, they're wondering, one of the sayings was, I mean, this is an old-fashioned saying, haven't heard it in flipping donkeys years. I love little donkeys, figure of speech. Royal ones, there we are, sitting on their hands. I'm not talking about violence or anything like that. No, I'm not. But what is it going to take? If we look at going back, 4 years ago? Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but even ones like in our parliament, and in other countries around the world, the little muppets and puppets. Well, the fact of the matter is that for many of those in each government, they also, there we are, took. So what was that telling themselves? So it wasn't only the populations in their countries, for the majority, very sadly, and I will say that with a heavy heart, who did take, okay? But in the parliament as well. So my point is, what's my point? What is, there we are, this going to take for even the ones who are in politics and in these large establishments to see, there we are, that they too, okay, are being used, there we are, and treated like effing shit as well. Do you see what I mean, okay? Because they are. Because if for the majority of those who got as well, my delicious little babies, okay? So that's just saying, isn't it? It's ding, ding, dong, dong, common sense that when all of this was rolled out, very sadly, let me tell you, they took no, what's that old-fashioned saying? It's just a figure of speech, my delicious little babies. You see the ones who did this now, they took no prisoners. Very old-fashioned, decades-old saying, that is, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? They took no prisoners. So in other words, you were all there in the net, and basically it didn't matter who the effing hell you was. Simple things, that's how they were operating. Do you see what I mean, okay? So what is it going to take until they say, themselves in... like in London and everywhere else now then, do you know what I mean? And around, and in the world, sorry, okay, because I must stop saying around the world because it's not round, not to myself anyway, my delicious babies, okay? Others may feel differently. Well, we're all entitled to our view. I'm a woman with a view. She'll have me effing view, and my view is that I do not believe that the world is round anyway. But the point of the matter is, my delicious babies, what is it going to take for themselves to realise that they're not going to be spared? So we're getting back to this again. I said this months and months and months and months and months and months and months ago, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. Okay. So it doesn't matter how many flipping damn well houses and everything they have. How many of those would last, considering they want to depopulate, which we've been all long time talking about, bless everybody, on their channels. That certain, want to get us down from so many billion to 500 million. So how many of those in the putrid governments are going to survive that? Just a question. Just a question. Do you see what I mean? Because let's face it, half of them won't survive anyway, my delicious little babies. And the reason why is because of, do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? Yes. And I mean, even when you heard Andrew Bridging, and he said that he spoke to other colleagues, before he left in Old London, the MP. And, where ones had said that, let's just say there was some health issues, but, they refused to speak up. Do you say? So I just have a very different thought pattern. There we are. My delicious little babies, that's all. Do you see what I mean, okay? So, yeah, very interesting. But to ask your man there to give up 4 of his herms, I'm not too sure that he'd want to do that. So why should the effing hell, he should ask his population to do it? He's nothing but a piece of effing shart. So what is it now then? He's another bought and paid for little bitch now, isn't it? It's very clear, isn't it? Now, I've known myself, beautiful, dear little families, then they've had houses built, they've built their own houses and everything, homes in Ireland. So the point is, why should any of that be given up? Or even if you bought your own home over in England or Scotland or Wales or anywhere in the world, why should anybody give their homes up, whether they've built the home or not? And what right has any poxy government got to threaten to take, there we are, all of this away from everybody? Who truly has got the right to do that? Nobody's got the effing right to do it. You see? My question is, and I'll repeat again, when are one's going to see? I'm not talking about, who already know my delicious little babies. I'm talking about others. When are they going to see? Do you know what I mean? What is going on? But for many, very sadly, I repeat again, they simple things, they just do not want to hear it. They just want to live their life, or they're doing too many jobs, or, maybe some are just suffering, bless their dear little souls. There we are, before I even say it, with so much depression that they just do not know whether they're coming or going, whether they're in the park of the pictures, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? All because of these so-called, what they call themselves, running countries. This isn't running countries. What we're experiencing right now is, there we are, well, it is. It's across the board. This is tyranny. My delicious little babies, you know what I mean? Since when can they tell all of us out here in the world what to do? And what's even worse is why ones continuously want to look for a leader. And I repeat this again, we can man our own ship. We do not need these inflicting all of this nastiness, this putrid business and this destruction on each of our countries when everybody just wants to live in peace, love and harmony. It's damn rank, man. Absolutely. Anyway, but bless that dear woman and bless dear Ireland, you know what I mean? Because there we are, they're getting it. They've been getting it long time now. Australia's another one, bless them. What was it I heard on another video? Oh, bless. I'm so sorry. I don't want to upset anybody, but they're killing the ostriches. Is it in Australia where that's happening? I think it's Australia. They're killing the ostriches. You see what I mean, Mads? Well, why? There's chickens and there's deer, They were killing, I forgot where was with the deers. Was that in America or somewhere? Killing the poor little deers and now the poor little ostriches and the poor little chickens and everything. I mean, you have to ask yourself, when it, say, rewind and start again, stumble there, every reason to, when is this going to end? When, there we are, is everybody else going to see? That's simple things, simple question that I'm asking. Anyway, the next one, my delicious little babies. This is, oh no, sorry, do forgive me. This one's on Odyssey. Please do forgive me. I said they were all on YouTube. Please do forgive me. Odyssey, spelt Dyssee, my delicious little babies, okay? This uploader happens to have 1,950 subscribers on Odyssey, okay? He's also on Twitter, which, you know, they call X, okay? My delicious little babies, okay? It'll always be Twitter to myself, okay? I mean, because, you know, I think, you know, certain, they like that X everywhere, don't they? It has to be X everywhere. Do you see what I mean? My delicious little babies, anyway. And this is called capital E as 3 words together. I do mention him sometimes, Stephen, as, then a capital R, is, then a capital W, watching. 3 words together, as is watching. The video is just over an hour long, my delicious little babies. And the video should read, as is watching, hashtag 184, Xeon Don's Digital Dome. You know, that means Trouble Trump. Born in the USA, Palantir, 6G, Next Spark, and the AR Kill Grid. Okay, my delicious baby, so I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? As is watching, hashtag 184, Xeon Don's Digital Dome, Palantir, 6G, Next Spark, and the AR Kill Grid. Yes, my delicious little babies, okay? Well, Palantir, I was listening to our lovely, it doesn't mean our lovely, the David Natter, and he's on Rumble, on Odyssey, on BitChute, which we're very sadly not allowed to watch it in old England. And, you know, he's on other places. Oh, he's also on, it's called Kick. Okay, my delicious little babies, it's called Kick. They're also on Kick. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now then, is it, I don't know if it's the davidnartshow.com Kick, I think. Or if you just type in Kick, it's another search engine, my delicious little babies, please and thank you. Should anybody have any form of an interest. Well, his dear little son, Travis, at the moment, dear David's dear son, he's covering for his dear dad, as you've heard me saying on the videos. And he is starting to get better, dear David, bless him. Oh, bless your dear little soul, dear David, and your dear little family. And please, to our dear giddy God, that you get better very soon, sweet. Yes, okay? Because we're looking forward to him coming back on and giving all the news. But dear little Travis, his dear son, bless him, he's been doing, there we are, a marvellous job, okay? Anyway, but yeah, and little Travis was saying that his dear dad David, the David Natter, that he was talking about, was it back in 2013, to do with this Palantir? Okay, my delicious little babies. Anyway, well worth a listen to this video as well, my delicious little babies, and the David Natter show, as I've said as well. There we are. They're very much well worth a listen to as well, okay? Should anybody, like I say, have any form of an interest. So you're tipped off, ours is watching. Thank you to you all. Okay, now then, finally, and then I'm going to close my books. I feel that we covered everything, and we must always remember to go back to where we need to go back to. So this on YouTube, my delicious little babies. This uploader happens to have 271,000 subscribers, my delicious little babies. So, capital P in the old search engine, my delicious little babies, press, space, capital F, 4, space, capital T, truth. Okay, my delicious little babies. So it should read press, space, 4, space, truth on old YouTube, my delicious little babies. Well, now then. This dear man here, and like I say with anybody not in that way, he too, years ago, was it 4 years ago? Could be 4 years ago. It seems to be the same with, there we are, virtually everybody. Some were 5 years ago, bless. Well, he too was booted off her YouTube as well, banged off as well, mad delicious babies. Anyway, well, he's back on there. Press the truth, mad delicious babies. I used to listen to him actually sometimes on our lovely BitChute. Okay, mad delicious babies. Now then, so he's rather, there we are, in shock himself that he's back on YouTube as well, mad delicious little babies. So he's in shock as well. So we got the Corbett report, who are now back on there, as I mentioned the other day. And now we got Press the Truth on. Bless them both, okay? Birth uploaders, okay? So now we're going to close our book, okay? We need to go back to where we need to go back to. So let's have a discuss. So, yeah, so what's happened is, and I do believe, because Press the Truth, I do believe that, did he say that World Alternative Media, because I used to listen to Josh a lot, and again, not in that way, on our lovely BitChute, okay? But he's also on Odyssey. When I listen to him, I usually listen to him on Odyssey. I think he's on Rumble as well. Okay, mad delicious babies. And, well, I think he's back on YouTube as well, mad delicious babies. Now then, rightfully, sir, you know, not only have you got the uploaders, bless them, but you've also got, you know, their viewers, bless, and their subscribers, you know, who are also commenting on this, okay? Because something, you know, is seeming, there's something going on, isn't there, mad delicious babies? What do we do? What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's just have a sip of my creamy coffee, please, and thank you. I think I'll have 2 sips. Yeah, so what's my thoughts on this, my delicious babies? Now, I already had my thoughts about, there we are, what all of this is about, okay? Okay? Now then, we can look at this a number of ways, okay? Because I like to look at, there we are, different angles to this. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? Now, if we look at this, okay, when everybody started, you know, with the old Twitter, I'm just, you know, just throwing out my thoughts, my delicious babies, okay? So with Twitter, they do, what is it, this tick. You pay so much a month, you know, for this tick. Okay, my delicious little babies. And, you know, for that, you know, you get to, you know, for your videos to get out, your information to get out. Now, to be honest with you, my delicious little babies, it seems that some can get their information out very much so, but for others, they seem to be rather, let's just say, put in the background. You know, they should have thousands upon thousands upon thousands more martyristic babies, and it does not appear to be happening anyway. So if we look at that, plus the fact that they were suspending rather a lot martyristic babies, okay, well, I wouldn't call that free speech, but anyway, we've discussed this before. So we could look at that side of things, okay, martyristic babies. Now then, when you look at old YouTube, okay, there's nowhere near, I do not feel anyway, nowhere near as many what I would regard as excellent uploaders. You've got, I'll tell you what you have got though. You've got some, there we are, banging smaller ones. I've mentioned this before, okay? But the thing is, it's like looking for, there we are, a needle in a haystack. There we are. Okay, my delicious babies, okay? Because it's really hard to find them. They're like little gems, you know what I mean? There we are, like little gems, you know what I mean? But bless them, you know, it's really hard to come across. There we are. It's really hard to come across them, okay? They just do not get that reach, okay? I mean, for myself, I'm in the same boat, but I'm not about subscribers, no. Do you know what I mean, okay? All that I do, what I found, and I'll repeat this once again, what I found super duper, there we are, important for myself is not about, I love bless anybody who's, subscribed to me, never needed to stumble there. Anybody who's subscribed to me, I'm not talking about that. Bless their beautiful, dear little souls. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is, as long as whoever listens to my video, that they please and thank you, just a little bit of time out a day on that, take bits of information, please to take a look at the videos that I advertise, and then to please pass those videos, there we are, pass them on. That's all that I ask. That's all that I ask, my delicious babies, really. Well, and there we are, well and truly. That's it. Do you see what I mean, okay? But for a lot of the other uploaders, there we are, they want to make some ka-ching, 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 and there we are. And I do get it. I really, really, genuinely do. Do you know what I mean, okay? So, so for them, this is Marty, there we are, important to them. Do you know what I mean? And they can spend years upon years to build their subscribers and everything, so that they can earn, there we are, a decent wage. So I do get it, you know what I mean, okay? And I don't have anything against anything like that. They're just, just trying to earn a wage. But if you really look at it, there isn't much on YouTube, my delicious little babies. There's not many at all, okay? Because a lot of it is harp and bullshit. There we are. Went all across my shoulders. That's what it is, my delicious little babies. Plus, you've got a lot of the AI now, okay, my delicious little babies. So that's not helping the situation, because you cannot tell what's real, what's not real. So there we are. You're in a situation again. Other videos is where you got somebody talking over it, like a little robot, okay? So there we are. So you got that as well. So, it's not very good. So another reason why I reckon that they've been allowed to come back on is maybe to get, some of the fan base back, okay? Because they can see, there we are, it's a very slow sinking ship, okay, with a very tiny hole that as time goes on will become larger and larger, okay? So that could be another reason why they're doing it. The third reason, well, of course, all of the conspiracies that we were all saying. I was done saying it, there we are, from the beginning anyway. But I wasn't on YouTube then. I never had a channel then. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? Because I had to psych myself up for myself to, for me to start a channel. Okay, my delicious little babies, so I'm just being honest there, okay? So they could be trying to get some names back, okay? To try to lure, ones back into the old YouTube. That's another one. Another reason could be because maybe other platforms, maybe they are starting to grow. There we are, okay? My delicious little babies, there we are. They could be starting to grow, okay? Some more and more, exploring and looking at other platforms, okay? So that could be another reason why they're doing this, okay? And another reason that I thought about, which is one of the first reasons that I thought, was that maybe they're giving some, there we are, what I call figure of speech leeway, to give ones a chance, you know what I mean, to listen to something else. And do you understand what I mean, okay? But at the same time, what I also feel is, and I totally agree with Press for Truth, there we are on this, that even though they put them back onto YouTube, they can remove it again, okay? So there's a number of reasons why I feel, there we are, what I feel is going on here. Do you see what I mean, okay? Because it is, as I've been saying, there we are, for months and months and months and months and months. You see, the fact of the matter is, the more and more that this goes on, is the more and more, there we are, that YouTube then will get, there we are, a bad name. So they will no longer have that good name of, see, I've got nothing across my shoulders, that means no. you see, they will no longer have the good name where, oh yeah, YouTube is the place to go. Okay, that won't be happening. No. Okay, so I feel there we are. They've had to do this now. Okay, so and I feel that even with Twitter, that there we are. That there we are. Will be running. There we are for even to into trouble. Do you see what I mean? Okay, I'm not talking about ching ching ching. I'm talking about where ones are going to. I'm looking a little bit further ahead here. They're just showing me. That what's going to happen is that one's just going to say, I'm just flipping peed off with. There we are. I'm just peed off with this. Do you see what I mean? Okay. See, if you look at probably when YouTube first came out, okay, I would have pretty much said that really they wouldn't have had a competition, if not none. But now, there we are. The tables are turning. Do you see what I mean? Even though they are the largest, well, they are, aren't they? The largest, YouTubers. Do you know, everybody knows YouTube, don't they? Apart from the few countries who do not. Do you know what I mean? But for everybody else, we all know YouTube, we all know Twitter, you know what I mean? But what was happening was, like, you never knew a lot of the others. I mean, I do not feel that brand new Tube is still available. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it is. I'll need to check that. I'll check that today. But you're not seeing much in the brand new Tube. So it seems that others, there we are wanting more information. It's like their noddles, there we are, really need feeding. Do you see what I mean? Okay. So what they're going to do, so if they cannot find it on YouTube, they're going to be, there we are, wanting to explore. Now, I have heard as well, I forgot what flipping video it was this morning, I heard this. No, it could have been on that Press the Truth. That even for Rumble, I'm not surprised actually, because I've heard a few other videos over the months where they've been saying, and I had a feeling, there we are, a lot time before that, because I thought something was saying, don't do the Rumble. I don't know, something just kept saying, don't do the Rumble. Do you know what I mean? Okay, don't go back on it. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, and something there we are just kept telling me, not to go back on it. But even for that, it's becoming more, there we are, corporate. So even though Press the Truth was saying, who I've just advertised, bless him, he was saying that, yes, they're more where you can have more free speech than YouTube. But even for Rumble now, do you see? And then, of course, when you seen that me lovely BitChute, bless, that we couldn't, because I was so blessed and pleased that I could advertise, there we are, as many videos, there we are, and their platform that I did. Do you know what I mean? Okay, because for most, they would never have known. For most, they never knew. Do you see what I mean? And, of course, others would say that, who used to do their... put their upload their videos on their Mardelistic babies, do you know what I mean? But there were so many, like for most who I spoke to, they never even heard of BitChute. So I was so pleased in that time for what I could do. Do you see what I mean? Okay. And luckily for BitChute, because when I heard on our lovely, iconic, Gareth Ark, bless him, when he spoke to Ray Vahey, who owns BitChute, they haven't really lost their viewers, okay? So that was another, there we are, brilliant thing as well, Mardelistic babies. But this is what's happening, see? You see, what's happening is you get one, then it has a knock-on effect, you know what I mean? So you're not allowed free speech on one platform, then you're not allowed free speech on another platform, and then so it goes on. But the more that goes on, is the more that, there we are, others are going to want to find, there we are, what they're going to want to find. Mardelistic babies, you see what I mean? Yes, okay. I knew with Rumble anyway. I knew it was only a matter of time. There we are. I knew. Do you know what I mean? Okay. So before long, and who's got there we are shares in it. Okay, that's not going to be who's one of them. I could be wrong here. I could be wrong. Who's one of them? What's his name? That Dan Bongino or something. He's now in the what's he in the FBI or the CIA or something. He used to do all the his little videos on his channel on BitChute. My delicious little babies, Kai. I do believe, I mean, I could be wrong here. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll put my hand up, okay? I think he's one of the shareholders as well. You've got a number of shareholders, my delicious little babies, you see what I mean? So, of course, you know, they have to tartan the reins, just an old-fashioned saying, my delicious little babies. So, this is what's happening. But, you know, but there are lots of other platforms that you can go on. I myself, there we are. I'm going to be doing that myself. I've just got to set up my, you know, just got to set up all the information now. Yeah. So, and even if you look at TikTok, well, even for those, you know, you'll get to so many thousands. It happened to, oh, bless him, not in that way. Our lovely Lee Dawson. And it happened to he. He had so many thousands of, you know, followers. And then they just cut it. There we are. He was another one. Do you see what I mean? Do you see how it rocks and rolls, my delicious babies? Do you see? Yes. Okay. So, yeah. So I've just given a number of reasons for my thoughts, okay? But I'd say they're trying to bring back, there we are, some form of business, okay? But I also believe as well, and this is all to do with the comments and to do with everything, right? They're really, there we are, really wanting to know what ones are saying. One last thing that I want to say, but I'm so pleased to see them back. Do you understand what I mean? There we are. I'm so pleased to see them back. But again, this is YouTube, you know, trying to take business from other platforms, there we are, to put back onto their own, you see, until the time suits them. And then whatever they, there we are, decide to do after that. Do you see what I mean? You got to see, there we are, how this rocks and rolls. It's like giving you a little blankie, isn't it, for comfort? You know what I mean? And then, of course, you know, when they feel like it, then they'll take the, there we are, the blankie away from you. Do you see what I mean, okay? If you look at it, it's noddle games, it's mind games. There we are, Mards, little babies. Do you see what I mean? But they're definitely up to something. And they probably want to see who the ones who are commenting, there we are, and everything now. Do you see what I mean? Okay, because it's going to take them quite a while to work everybody out, you know, because some, you know, like to be anonymous. There we are, when they leave a comment, you know what I mean? It's been going on a long time, do you know what I mean? You know, so ones can, there we are, make up accounts, do you see? So it would take them quite a long time to get through that. We know about this for some years now. So so the fact of the matter is, they're definitely, you know, I smell something as well. There we are, big times. You know what I mean? Okay. Of course, you do have some, very sadly, who cannot go back on at the moment, like our lovely David Icke. I mean, what did our lovely David Icke have? And not in that way. He had, was it, I can't remember now, was it over 1 million or something? It was very large. Okay. And yeah, and they did that to our poor David Icke as well. Do you see what I mean? Okay. So certain who they're not fully, you know, allowing to go back on. Some not at all. Some, you know, they'll let them on for a bit. There we are, then they take them back off again. And, you know, this is what they're doing. It's all mind games, isn't it? But I just reckon that they're getting the feelers out. But I've just thrown some thoughts out. There we are, what I feel it is. But anyway, but for myself, I'm not sure if I can comment yet. Not even say thank you. So I'm not too sure, you know, I mean, what guidelines I'm supposed to be not adhering to. I'm really not too sure about that, my delicious little babies. I just feel that they just like to pee me off. Do you know what I mean? They can. Anyway, not to worry, not to worry. It's just one of those things. I can still put a like. You know what I mean? And very lastly, yeah, it's like Facebook. Now with Facebook, how many, especially in our old England, my delicious little babies, how many there we are have they arrested and everything like this now then, there we are, just for simply putting gay comments. You see? So I would have thought that for most, I mean, I know that for most of them, they're probably built up, bless them, their followers. So then you've got others, you know, they have the businesses on there and everything. I do understand that. But to tell you the truth, I would have just come off there. There we are, long time. I would have just come off there. Do you know what I mean? Because if you look at it, it's like an open net, isn't it? And then the second you say something, it's like open, then, you know, just pull the rope really quick. Do you see what I mean, delicious little babies, Kai? But still, you know, some, bless them, they chose to stay on there. Well, very sadly, there we are. This is very sadly what's going to happen, isn't it? You know, they're going to be, not in that way, but they're going to be targeted, and you know what I mean? Because it seems to myself, long time now, there we are, from what I can hear of, that with old Facebook, that yeah, I mean, they seem to be, there we are, monitoring that like nobody's business, my delicious little babies, do you know what I mean? So, but for myself, you know, if I was any one of those, I would have been done coming off it. There we are. That's what I would have done. I wouldn't have stayed on there, you know, and really probably, you know, pre-warn, you know, their followers and everything, you know what I mean? While they were setting something else up, do you know what I mean? And just pre-warn and just tell them where to go. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. So, does that, my delicious little babies? Yes. So that's all that I want to say for today, my delicious little babies. So, yeah, there's definitely, there we are, something going on, my delicious little babies. I'm sure that we will see, and it shall be, there we are, revealed. All in good time, my delicious little babies. We just need to watch the flex. Anyway, so wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings to each and every one of you. And may your beautiful little selves and your beautiful little families, may you all be fully protected. Okay, my delicious little babies. And I'll repeat this again. Our lovely, not in that way, but our lovely Alex Belfield. He's got alexbelfield.com. And he has wrote some books. Okay, my delicious little babies. So I'm just letting you know the latest there, my delicious little babies. All I do it as a hobby. There we are. And I just give out information. That's all I do, my delicious little babies. But dear Alex, bless him, he's allowed his free speech only so far, according to what I'd read, my delicious little babies. If you wanted to have a read, it is Alex Belfield.com. Okay, my delicious little babies. He's on his 7th book now. Okay, my delicious little babies. So, yeah. So he will be back to our screens. There we are, very shortly. Okay, my delicious little babies. Okay. Oh, bless him. Okay, my delicious little babies, and you know, bless any uploader. There we are, who wants to just deliver the truth. And I was listening to another video yesterday evening, just before I go, and this was a man who he had a large subscribers on YouTube, and yeah, they removed his as well. That was all around that time. Was it 4 years ago, my delicious little babies? Anyone? He went into there we are, a rather a deeper, there we are, depression for 2.5 years, because he was used to earning a lot of ka-ching, 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 you know, pounds, dollars, pence change. And he was used to earning that. And then that was removed from him, stripped from him. And yeah, he found himself, there we are, in a situation. My delicious little baby's kind. I won't advertise it. There's only one reason why I won't advertise it, because he still, there we are, seem to believe in this COVID nonsense, because that's all it was. My delicious little baby's okay, in my view, and in many others, there we are, views. And also for the fact that he seems to really like Elon Musk. So, that's other putrid little cretin. So, because of that, I'm not going to advertise it. Why feed it? Do you know what I mean? So I'm not going to go there. But I did listen to the video to see what he had to say. But yeah, nobody could contact him. Was it for 2.5 years, like I just said? He just kept away from everybody, everything. Yeah. And now, now he's very grateful, to be, is it back on Twitter? And he's very grateful for that, So he loves Elon Musk. Musk, mad little baby, sorry, yeah. So I just thought, nah. And he was one, because he was a guest on somebody else's show, right? And they're friends, like, but and even the one who has the show, he says, you know what? He said, in that time with the old COVID, he said, I just lost total respect for you, man. That's what he said to his guests there. The one who'd been depressed for 2.5 years. And he said, what did you do? He said, tell everybody what you did. And he did. Him himself, the guest that had been depressed 2.5 years, wore a muzzle. Do you know what I mean? He said, because he believed it, obviously. Do you know what I mean? Whereas his mate there, his friend, never believed it. Do you see what I mean? He said, I'm not wearing it. Wherever he went to shops or anything, he said, I'm not wearing it. You see what I mean? So, yeah. So like that's that. I mean, I don't know whether he never believed in it, but anyway, he just, the one who run the show, who I was listening to, I'm not sure whether he did not believe in it, but he did not believe in wearing a muzzle to cover his mouth. No, not to cover his trap, no. But his friend did. You see what I mean? So it just makes you wonder, doesn't it? Anyway, my delicious little babies. So, peace, love, harmony once again, and bright blessings, okay? And we must continue even through all this flipping madness. Try to find something there we are each and every day to smile about, my delicious little babies, okay? Because they are throwing everything at us. There we are, including the kitchen sink, okay? So I love you so very much. Thank you once again for listening. Take care. Blessings. Goodbye.